This lesson helps you get started with your understanding of quadratic functions. A quadratic function is defined by a second-degree polynomial equation. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c is the standard form of a quadratic function. The first term is the quadratic term, or the leading term. The second term is the linear term. The third term is the constant term. A, B, and C are called coefficients. For example, for y equals x squared minus 3x minus 6, x squared is the quadratic term or leading term. Negative 3x is the linear term. Negative 6 is the constant term. The coefficient of the quadratic term is 1. It's also called the leading coefficient. Negative 3 is the coefficient of the linear term. Negative 6 is the constant term. Also remember function notation. You can replace y equals with f of x equals. Y equals x squared, or f of x equals x squared, is the most basic of all quadratic functions. You can think of it as the parent function, since all other quadratic functions are variations of y equals x squared. To draw a graph of the function, start at the origin and calculate the value of the function at x equals 0. Remember, function notation is useful for expressing the value of a function. So f of 0 equals 0 squared equals 0. Then moving out from the origin, f of 1 equals 1 squared equals 1, and f of negative 1 equals negative 1 squared equals 1. Because of the exponent of 2, the values of the function at 1 or negative 1 are equal. It's the same for x equal plus or minus 2. The function's equal to 4. At x equal plus or minus 3, the function's equal to 9. Next, organize these pairs of x and y values in a table. Then use the table of x-y values to graph points. Draw a smooth curve through the points, and you have the graph of the function. The graph of a quadratic function is called a parabola. A parabola is a smooth, arch-shaped curve. An important characteristic of a parabola is its symmetry. The smooth, arch-shaped curve is symmetrical about the y-axis. This means if you fold the graph of the parabola along the y-axis, one half of the parabola folds over and exactly matches the other half. The fold, or the line that divides the parabola in half, is the axis of symmetry. There's another way to understand the symmetry of a parabola. Notice that these points are both 1 unit from the axis of symmetry. These points are both 2 units from the axis. And these points are both 3 units from the axis. Any place you draw a line across the graph, the distance from the axis to one side of the parabola is equal to the distance from the axis to the other side. the point where the axis of symmetry intersects the parabola. The lowest point on the graph is the vertex. The graphs of all quadratic functions are variations of this smooth, symmetrical, arc-shaped curve. This lesson helped you get started with your understanding of quadratic functions. And this lesson was brought to you by the Math Fun Academy. Its continuing mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new math and new equations, to boldly go where no math student has gone before.